It's been a long time coming and we came. You welcome, good peoples. I got little bugs on my thing here. What the hell are these bugs coming from? Okay. It's your boy Raziel Liz and you're listening to We Alive and Living. I'm happy to announce that we're doing season 2 and officially season 2, episode 1. I'm so grateful to start it off with my boys, Joey Thurmond in the building. Y'all already know him as an actor, director, producer. This guy is a beast, a good friend of mine, great friend of mine actually, and done so many things I couldn't do without him. How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm rocking, dude. Are you kidding me? Thank you for the opportunity to be here, man.
Nah, man, thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me be your friend. You know what I'm saying? Because in this day and age, those don't come easy.
Hey, you're right, man. They're few and far between, that's for sure.
For real, man, for real. But let's cut this shit and stop being so formal with it, man. How you feeling?
I'm awesome, man.
Like, you know, people already know we've been hanging out a lot. They seeing us, like, you know, on camera for the show, right. Kill a few motherfuckers and everything. Right. You can't sit on camera. They see us kill people and everything like that. But how you feeling, man, since we jumped into that project? How you feeling after that?
Dude, it was kind of thrown in the mix with other things going on, just like you had. We both had other projects going on the outside of Annihilation of Man, and it was kind of being shot in between the other stuff that both of us had going on. And we actually shot season 1 in a crazy busy time. I mean, you think it was.
You was filming a few joints.
Yeah, I had 3. You had like 2 or 3 yourself going on, and it was cool though, man, because it was a great way to go do something and then jump back into something familiar and take that.
Was that difficult for you to be like? There was times where I had to like not be Steve from Annihilation Man. Right. And there was times I had to be like, you know, I'll go into a set and be like, man, what the fuck, man? I'm like, well, that's what Steve would do. I'm Joe today.
Right. I think not for me, not necessarily because those other characters were so separate from who Chris is. I think that it wasn't that much of a stretch because these guys, to me, Chris is a little easier to play because he is supposed to be a regular guy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? These are supposed to be regular guys they're out and about, and I mean that's who we are anyway. You know, and so I don't think that is that far of a stretch, aside from some of the crazy stuff they do.
Yeah. What before I ask that, when me and you started talking about something to film and whatnot, and I was throwing scripts back and forth, and I was like, I got this. What gravitated you to be like, all right, these projects are cool or they're great, let's do this one? Cause I had things on the table like, which I don't want to say the names because people have tendency to steal and shit, but I had projects on the table from like heaven and hell situations. Right. I had projects on the table having to do with like, life situations, kind of like Annihilation of Man, but just different topics. But what gravitated you to be like, all right, let's do this psychopath movie right here?
Because I think that because it's not like other things. I'm a huge fan of things that are different, things that are unique. And that's easy to say. Everybody likes to say, oh, this is a unique project or this or that. But in reality, this project is not about it's not trying to make a statement. It's telling a story. And I think that's something that we need more of.
I agree.
Because it's more entertaining. Yeah. When I turn on the TV.
It's very grounded. In reality, these guys would have probably been killed a long time ago. Depending on how, unless they can't be found, like in the show, like they can't be tracked to a certain extent, like that's something we had to throw in there to be like, all right, this is the reason why they're not being killed every 5 minutes.
Right.
But it's grounded. It's grounded with a touch of like, I wouldn't say fantasy, but like a little exaggeration. So
there's a little bit of its own universe to it.
Yeah, exactly. So to me, it was like I was happy we picked that one because it was like I knew we could go balls to the wall on it. Like sometimes you want to do something, and you go, that's a good idea, but it's going to be corny if we do it on this movie or this show. Right. But on that show, it was almost like throw shit at the wall. We were like, yeah, pick that. Let's just do that. But not like throw shit like this. Anything that fit the context of what we was doing. But even if something felt far-fetched, it still was possible to make it work. That's what was funny about it, Yeah. So another thing I like about doing this with you, and I want to ask you this, is like, what felt different about the character that I gave you from Chris to anything else that you've done before? Cause I've seen all your movies. Well, I hope I've seen all of them.
Right.
But the last thing I saw you in that I sat down and watched the whole thing straight was I'm sorry to get the name on the something compass, the skeleton key.
Skeleton's Compass.
The skeleton's compass.
Right.
I watched that whole thing. I saw it when you first did it, and then I watched it after we finished Annihilation.
Right.
I was scrolling. Actually, I was on Tubi because I saw the original on Amazon. And then I was on Tubi, and I saw that Tubi picked it up as well. Which congratulations to you and the crew of that movie. So I was like, oh snap, this is on Amazon. It recommended it to me probably because I was watching Annihilation Man, and it's Joey Thurmond. It probably shot that, and it was on the Try Watch These.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, let me click that and watch it again. So I'm watching it, but this time I was watching it just to be like, I want to see how different it looked now to see him just acting as somebody else, as a dad.
Right.
Compared to the psychopath that he was acting over here. So how was that for you then, compared to all the roles you've done? Like, how was Chris compared to all those roles?
I think that it's cool because it gives me, and I think there's a little bit of you in every character that you play.
You know, like me, or you mean like
you as the actor? I think that there's in each character that we see portrayed in whatever it is, there's a little bit of that actor that's in that character. I mean, that's what makes them unique, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that. I mean, I am a dad. Right. That's almost the dad that I am in that movie, in that Skeleton's Compass. I'm the guy that's like, all right, you know, let's go get canoes and get a shovel. Let's go on a treasure hunt.
It felt very you when I was watching it.
You know, and I'm that part was really cool. The difference between but then the other part of me that's in Chris, I think, is the guy that is this wasn't Chris's idea.
No.
Chris just found himself in the position, and it turns out that it's his best friend that's doing it, and he's like, it's my best friend. I gotta go. You know, and I feel like that's me on that side. Mm-hmm. Not that we would necessarily go on some kind of killing spree or whatever. Right. But at the same time, if somebody called and said, "Hey, man, you know, I got
a problem right here."
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, "Let me get my shoes, man. I'm ready to go."
Let's go.
So I feel like that part of me is really Chris.
Yeah.
And I feel like that the guy that's just stupid enough to say some of the stuff that Chris says just to get a laugh from somebody.
I mean, I wouldn't even say half. I would say for everybody watching, I would say probably 75% of Chris' lines were winged.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it was on topic of what the script said.
Right.
But you literally was just like, all right, so he starts here and he ends here, and I'm going to just do all this in between here. As long as I get from here to here.
We'll put in the double or triple stuff in between the cookies, right?
I mean, that was one of the funniest parts, man, because there was times like I was like, all right, these are my lines. And then you'd just be like, I'll be like, the line will go like, hey, we have to go from here to here and do this. And all you have to say is, all right, let's do it, but that's crazy. But then they'll go from, we got to go from here to this. And you'll be like, why the fuck are we doing that? We should be doing that. And I'll look at you and be like, and just have to go into my own script and be like, all right, I don't know what we're talking about anymore, but I know where we're going with it, so we just keep going. I was like, yo, this is the take, fuck it. And that happened every single time. Right. But I didn't mean to cut you off, but keep
No, and I appreciate that because it is truly my opinion. And I've heard, because I've listened and I've studied to a lot of the classic comedians, Jackie Gleason, Milton Berle, Henny Youngman, and these are all old school comics, man. I'm talking like from vaudeville back in those days.
Not to sound naive, so did Jackie Gleason do? I know he did the Honeymoons, but did he do stand-up comedy as well aside from that, or he's just an actor?
No, he absolutely done some stand-up comedy.
I never knew he did stand-up.
A hugely diverse.
He was hilarious. That dude's hilarious. I've seen him in movies and his show, but I never seen him do stand-up.
He had a variety show. The music that he done, he never sang a note, but he orchestrated. He was the conductor. He would arrange these, and he has albums and albums and albums. Great music, man.
Wow, I never knew that.
Just fantastic music.
True legend in the game. I never knew that about Jackie.
But and is responsible. I want to add this on too. Is responsible for the push of a lot of really, really great, notable characters and figures that that are still working today.
No, yeah, there's a lot of actors I can see get influenced.
Yeah, so it's I feel like that after studying them, one of the kind of common denominators through all those comedians has always been the art is not really the guy that drops the punchline. He's the guy that sets it up.
Yes.
So I feel like that's something that I can do, but I feel like I have.
You do it a little bit too good.
I feel like
you setting my ass up. I'll be like, damn, he about to make me say something we can't put on camera.
But I feel like that I have good enough improvisational skills that sometimes it's just there. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you do as well. You bring that same thing back, and I feel like that's one thing that you and I both definitely are good at is being able to set the other up because we've spent enough time together that we know how to, what I call playing volleyball or tennis.
Yeah.
It's your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn. And when you get two people together like that, God help you if you get three or four. Because then it's just turn the camera on and shut up and let them do what they're doing. You don't have to tell anybody what to do. They're going to take care of it.
100%. Yeah. And the crazy part is, for people that don't know, like, a lot of people have told me, like, the people that don't know that we know each other in person, they've come to me and be like, on Instagram or Facebook, whatever the case may be, and excuse me, I'm sniffling so much, but they've come to me a lot of times and be like, Edmund, where you find this guy at? Yeah. Because you guys, I've had people ask me, like, man, his audition must have been crazy to you because y'all matched perfect. And I'm like, yeah, I've been auditioning him for like 7 years. Yeah. They're like, what? I'm like, no, I know this guy. Like, this is not an actor that I just found. I mean, he is an actor I found as far as Mistakes and Monsters.
Right.
But it's funny when I tell people, like, we become good friends that the characters you saw on the show, minus the killing, that's how we are just hanging out. Yeah. Like, we banter back and forth in real life about regular stuff and be like, hey, what the fuck, nigga?
And I think that actually works great, too, because how many times have we just bantered stuff back and forth and we're like, okay, we need to write this in. Mm-hmm. That needs to...
In episode 2, the episode 2, the scene in the car that I hated as far as the shot, but everybody likes that damn scene.
The scene where we're trying to pick the mask?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Man, it's so crazy. I know people trip out when I say this. Yep. That was one of the shots, like, that when we was recording it, I was like, man, I really hate this damn shot. Like, right. Not like in the sense of, like, the way it looked. Like, everything was fine, colors and everything. It was just the shot. I felt lazy as the shot. Yeah. Come on, we put the camera on the dashboard, and we shot, and there was like things going on that was making us stop for a second. That it distracted me away from the change the angle. Right. That in my mind, I was like, man, this was like a straight 7 minutes of one shot. So I was like, this is not gonna work. So when we put it together, and I'm watching, I'm like, I still hate this shot. And but you know what was the main reason I used it? Because it was one shot of continuous bantering that I was like, you know, this is pretty funny, and I'm hoping, and thank God they did. I was hoping people watched it in the sense of like, man, they did that shit in one shot. Yeah, you know what I mean?
And you can tell there's no cuts.
Yeah, and not look at it like, all right, this is kind of going too long and it's boring. They need to change the shot, do something else. Because when we first did it, I felt like it was too long. It was gonna be boring. I was like, man, we messed up the second episode. Right. Still put it in there, went with it. That it became literally the shot that people call me about the most, especially when they first start watching it.
Well, you know, David Clark, the radio host.
Good guy. Shout out to him.
Shout out BFAM 109.6 in Atlanta. But that was his favorite shot. That was his favorite shot. He was like,
he was one of the first people to tell me that.
And I think that one of the things that really make that shot stand out, even more than that, is the fact that the first episode is so serious, and then the second episode starts off being serious. Yeah. You get a little sprinkle that there's going to be some stupidity in it, you know, but then that's the first time in the series where the audience goes, okay, there's not like tension. There's
right. Because the first episode starts off like, okay, where we going? Here, and this guy's watching the news, and then the other guy's driving to his house, and you know, it got a little bit comical in there when you're playing a video game, and everything like that. But it's comical in the sense of like, okay, he's a funny guy, but he's looking for his friend, and it's obvious the friend he's looking for is the guy that's we're watching the news. It was like that was obvious, but it wasn't obvious that he was going to run into it.
It was obvious to you, and I'm sure it was obvious to a lot of the viewers. But I've had a lot of people that were like, I had no idea until you look through the glass.
Well, I think they had no idea that the friend was the guy in the mask.
Right.
I felt like, you know what's funny? When I was writing that, right? And I was like, okay, this part here is going to be a little tricky to pull off on writing, but on camera I think it'll work. I wanted the audience to be like, okay, it's this guy and this guy are friends. Mm-hmm. And I wanted it to look so obvious that the guy in the mask and talking with the mask is the guy, the first one, but they put him to be like, nah, it's too obvious. Mm-hmm. And then they go, nah, that's not him. Mm-hmm. So now they put that to sleep, and they're watching the friend come. So I'm like, okay, so because somebody told me like, yo, I thought that the friend, the Chris, was gonna run into the killer, and you was gonna somehow be there too, or you was the guy in the bag or something.
Right.
He was like, I didn't know what to think.
That's the one that I'm getting more of.
People was like, I thought you was the guy that was like, that the killer was talking to.
Yeah, yeah.
And this and that. So I'm sitting there like, oh man, what's gonna happen? And I thought maybe because the guy, one person said that I thought you was the guy in the with the bag over the head, and your friend was gonna come see the guy kill you.
Right.
And it was gonna go a different direction. Like you was just there for a second, and then you get killed, and your friend is the one that interacts with the killer. That's what somebody told me. I was like, oh. I didn't think about that, and he was like, damn, when I saw him chase him, and he took off the mask, I was like, oh, man. You know, it ended like, he was like, I started like, I'm just watching one episode because it was really late, and then the way you ended it, I was like, man, I gotta watch one more episode. Dude, and then he like, this little goth girl comes out of nowhere, like, oh, I was like, oh, what's happening? Yep. And he like, when this episode 2 starts, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to dive in face deep. Then I see the preacher, and I was like, what? Like, he was like, what's happening right now? You talking to him like, and you cursing him out, so now I'm like, wow, like, where are we going with this? Then it comes back to you guys arguing at the house, and he was like, man, that spin around was ridiculously funny. I was like, and the way people have been explaining it back and forth, what they saw and what they thought was going to happen.
Right.
That it made me happy for people to be like, nobody came up with, I saw it coming.
Right.
Nobody.
Right. And that, I've loved that. And that you asked me a while ago about what was one of the things out of the 3 or 4 or whatever that we were pitching back and forth. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that absolutely stuck out to me because I'm a huge fan of never being able to figure it out. Mm-hmm, I don't want to be able to figure out what's coming. To me, that's...
Like, if I figure it out, at least give me a surprise with the figuring out. Give me something.
Give me something.
I knew this was going to happen, but I know this was going to happen with it.
Give me something because it's just my opinion, and I know that, you know... anyway, I feel like that a writer or a director even... whoever's telling the story, it's almost insulting to the audience if you know right off the bat exactly where it's going.
Yes, I agree. It's like you're wasting their time.
When you're showing them every little thing along the way, it's like, I have to lead you. So that you stay with this story. To me, that's insulting.
No, I mean, the only movies that could do that would be something like, and not saying that this movie has a bad story. I love, this is one of my favorite movies of the year. Like John Wick, for example, or the series of John Wick is one of my favorite series that's happened in a while. Uh-huh. But the story isn't too deep. You know, they killed his dog, he mad, he retaliates.
Right.
That's the whole story. There's no surprising, there's almost no surprises in John Wick, but with a movie like that, the treat isn't the story. The treat is, I just want to see how many people this guy's going to kill in this movie. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the treat with those kind of movies is the cleverness and the aesthetic of the scenery, the characters. Right. It's like you're just in this world that you're like, you know, I get what's happening. He's mad for this and the whole world's and he killed one person that ricocheted a war. Yeah. I don't need nothing else. Yeah. This guy is going to kill everybody. Right. Like everybody that's assassins after this one dude, and I'm here to watch him kill everybody. Cleverly, coolness, unbelievably, boom. Movies like that, I'm okay when I go, okay, cool, so I'm not in it for no surprises. I'm just in it for the ride. Like it's like riding down the street that you already know what's coming, but it's still beautiful to you no matter what.
Yeah, that's true.
But movies like that can do that. But movies like anything else, like you said, if you don't reel me in slowly, if you don't let me be surprised somewhere down the middle, it's like, man, shit, okay, this is a cool looking show or movie, but why you sat me here like for this long?
Yes. And to me, it doesn't matter how good the shooting is, how good the acting is. It's just like, I saw this coming in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah. Especially if you feel like you've seen it before. It's different when you figure it out, but if you feel like you've seen it before.
I cannot stand the same story over and over and over and over.
TV now. It's
like, my God.
Don't get me wrong. It's not a jab at no show, no movie, or no actor.
It is for me. I'll tell you. I'm in the business. I'm in the business, and I will say this. You want to gain fans, you want to draw people into your show and build a base, you've got to find...
It's almost like you can't be mad when they cancel the shows. It's like, it's 50 of you.
You saw it happen to 6 other shows. They were the exact same spot you're in when you got canned.
What's the shows I'm tired of the most? Like, any show that has to do with, like to me, Law and Order and NCSI, those
right.
They the masters of that.
Yeah.
They stamp their name in that, let them do that, and they do it great.
Yes.
We don't need no more. We don't need 100 FBI show. And, you know, there was a point in my life where, like, anything involving the CIA or secret society, I was like, yeah, I'm in it. Like James Bondish thing. Right. I was like, I'm in it. Yeah. Now when those come up, I'll be like, oh my God. Yeah. Like, again? What he gonna do? Make his belt turn to a fucking jacket?
And now let me switch and say this. There's some people that is absolutely their genre.
Right.
There is an audience that absolutely loves it. And
I love those movies.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's been around since forever. Mm-hmm. True crime has been around since written word.
But they do it good though.
Right.
That's the thing. They do it decent.
Right. And let me flip and say this. Just because I'm not an audience for that doesn't mean that it's not good.
No, yeah.
But what I'm saying is
there's too much of it.
Just don't show me the same thing over and over and over. I don't need it. Okay, this is just imagine if you were watching a documentary about paving streets or painting the lines down the street, and you watch that, and then tomorrow it's episode 2. And you go back, and it's just a paint sprayer spraying lines down the street. You gonna tune in tomorrow for episode 3, 4, 5, 12?
Coming soon, the paint sprayer.
Yes.
Instead of up the street, he going down.
Yes, exactly that.
It's like the writing is crazy nowadays, and it blows me away how people be saying, man, networks are looking for writing for scripts. And I'm like, the fuck, like I got like 100 that are all different, and you know, and people say this a lot. They say the industry is really saturated, that's hard to come up with new content. I find it hilarious when they say that. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm like, do you know how big every single individual's imagination is in this world? That you're trying to tell me that they're like, they don't got nothing new to talk about.
That's right.
How about, I don't want nobody to lose their jobs. Right. But how about you tell the people that you do have at these jobs to go find somebody to help them something? You're going to necessarily fire the guy, but find somebody to assist.
I will promise you this, as an actor, I think that one of the number one things that we can do to get better is to constantly be watching and meeting new people.
Oh yeah.
Because you are able to take pieces from here and there.
You gotta get rid of the gatekeepers
and build. Yeah, but you gotta
update them.
You gotta be able to take pieces from this meeting with this person and pieces from that meeting with that person. And I may not have a place to use those pieces of those personalities right now. Yeah. But when there's a character that comes up later, I'm gonna be like, I remember that dude. I remember that one guy, and he said this, and that's gonna be the inspiration to start building this 100%. Character. That may be the seed. That may be the spore that builds this character. I think that constantly having outside influence and taking in other artists' interpretations of whatever it is, music, painting, drawing, acting, whatever, anything, that is how you stay fresh. That is how you stay current.
Let me ask you this. What's something that you wish we could have done in Annihilation, man, and something that you want to see happen in the near future if possible?
Ooh.
Well, for me, it was that episode that never happened. Episode 6 with the montages.
Yeah, but that's coming.
Yeah, that's coming.
That's what gets me is like when you say that, I'm thinking, okay, what would I like to do that we didn't accomplish?
You would have liked to do that wasn't attainable? Like maybe it would have took a bigger budget or something like that, or just something crazy? No. I would like to have done a skydiving scene.
So why are we not doing that in at season 2?
Yeah, but I'm not jumping out of a fucking plane myself.
Why?
I might need to hire a stunt double to jump the plane, jump out the plane. Like they don't even let me jump out the plane by myself. I have
you gotta have so many jumps, yeah.
Yeah, I got one.
So but still, that's something. That's not anything that we couldn't accomplish.
Yeah, it's not impossible. It's not impossible. All right, so I guess things we could have done, we could do, but what's something you want to see happen? Maybe the direction or a certain type of style. Like, what's something in your mind that you're like, I would like to see this happen eventually. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I don't want to spoil it because nobody knows what's gonna happen.
I was gonna say I don't want us to spoil anything that we're gonna end up telling or doing because we've already got some really good ideas.
All right. So how about is there something with a certain character that doesn't have to be yours that you would like to see happen? Or somebody introduce, I've been asked that a lot. Like, man, where y'all see it going next? And for me, without spoiling nothing, I want to see, and I'm not saying this is what I'm writing, but I want to see basically the characters become more seasoned in the sense of like, when he dropped the clip, right? Like when a character dropped the clip, for example, that was to show how unprofessional these guys are.
Sure.
He dropped the clip, and he's so focused on the fact that he dropped the clip, and there's two of us standing there. We're not even paying attention to the guy we're holding hostage, so to say. We're not even paying attention to that. He was able to just slowly push me and run off. And I'm like, oh, there! I'm panicking, trying to get the guy before he tells somebody something.
Right.
So, and also the idea of like, even if he did get away, he don't know what he looked like. He can't track us or nothing like that. So it was like nothing that they had planned, they was holding on to. For them, it was like, oh, she's getting away. And you was like, calm down.
Right.
You got the clip. Like, I would like to see more of them learning from their mistakes. Which is obviously going to happen. That's what I'm saying now without spoiling nothing. Because it's obvious. Right. But like, them learning from it. Like being like, keep in mind, as I'm writing in the sense of, when he's loading the clip, it's like a comical factor for him to go.
Right.
And you're like, what the fuck are you doing? And
like you rock, paper, scissors?
Yeah. He holding the clip, like swinging the gun. You're like, hey, man, I'm just swinging this gun. He's like, man, I can't have that shit happen again. Like,
I gotta make sure.
Like stuff like that, just little nods at them learning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even Chris' character, in the sense of like, Chris is after the torture scene. Mm-hmm. For Chris, I feel like it got more real. Like it got like, oh shit, like they caught us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you can see him turn a little bit, right?
Yeah. Because after the torture scene and the preacher scene, he seems more like, yeah, man, he seems like he really didn't have a grip on what was happening. Like he was like, man, we almost got killed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When
I think you start seeing Chris get a little bit more like aware, like you're saying. I think he gets a little bit more aware of what's going on. Mm-hmm. But I feel like he's slowly. It's almost like he's putting on the cloak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think that he's still not smart enough.
That's a hilarious character.
To be
a dangerous character.
To be able, he really is dangerous. He really is dangerous.
He's technically more dangerous than Steve's character, even though Steve's the one that's on go.
Yes.
Because Chris is like, oh, that's a bomb. Pull the pin. Let's get out of here. Like Chris pulls the pin, then thinks of what to do after he pulls the pin.
Exactly.
And that's what's scary about it.
And whatever happens is like, okay.
Yeah, as long as we got out, he's fine with it.
And let me tell you where. All right, so I'll tell you.
Like
I'll tell you where I draw.
I just pulled it. But what the fuck are you doing?
What do we do now? I got.
Be like, you said pull the pin. You want to like. That'd be pretty funny.
You gonna wear it on your chain, dude? What the fuck you doing? I think that'd be awesome. So I feel like that part of Chris. Actually, I'll tell you where I draw him from is that's he's a little bit like the Minions, right there, because it's like no matter what.
Please add texture to that. Cause I'm like, what the Minions?
No matter what happens, he's like, okay,
like, it's cool.
all right, yeah, we'll make the best out of whatever we got, dude. This guy's head just fell off. Well. What do you want to do now?
You want to put it back?
You want to pull his head back, see if there's any Pez that pops out, or you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, okay.
No, that character,
moving on.
It was funny. It's funny too because writing Chris was probably one of the trickiest parts into the show for me. When I was writing it, writing Steve was easy. I was like, all right, this guy, his goal, or even if he has a goal, his mission that he's just like kind of going on the fly.
Right.
It's not thought out, but you already know what he wants.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to punish these people for these reasons.
Right.
And what I like, and I wanted to make clear to people, because I've had people throw suggestions. I had to keep saying, you gotta understand they're not heroes. It's not Batman and Robin.
Absolutely,
you know,
not.
they're not the Punisher. Like,
they're not there to
all
save
those
the day.
people. Yeah, they're exactly. They're not walking down the street and see a damsel in distress,
right?
And be like, oh, we heard this girl got mugged on 57th Street. We
Nope.
gotta go help her. Like, I'm not saying that they would ignore it if it was right there in front of them, but that's not their goal. Their goal is not to save the day.
Right.
Their goal is to correct the system or to scare the system.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even sure that if I was to dive into their thought process, that I'm not even sure that Steve even believes it will get fixed.
That was actually going to be a question I was going to ask you. How do you feel? So we know what his goal, we know what his mission is. We know what he would like to have happen. Mm-hmm. But what do you feel like Steve's? We know what his drive is. We know what his ambition is. But what kind of how does Steve see this playing out?
That's the funny part. I don't think he do. Like when I think about it, I think Steve literally is just like as far as his mission, mm-hmm. it's like a day by day thing. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, he might even be like, all right, I can't do this anymore. Like we did enough. And,
right.
You know, he might even write that one day, like where he gets to the point where he's like, man, we ain't changing shit.
Right.
You know, they just getting the more people we eliminate, the more aggressive they get.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I guess they can figure out a way on how to, you know, and it depends on how we sway the story. But when I think about what he wants, I think he really is just in the moment of they hear and they see us.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's almost like we did this, we did that, we set the playing field. Now people need to do the rest.
Yeah.
Like how the media, for example, the media will put something out there to scare people. Now it can either be people got scared or people call bullshit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I feel like Steve's mission is that. Like, I put this out there. Now you're either going to back me up and voice yourself and let them know we're not playing anymore, or you're going to just hide and crawl into space again and for them to be like, you see, let's just keep scaring them.
Head in the sand,
So for me, it's like in his mind, his thought process is basically just, I'm on go until something makes me not go anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean? It just, you know, it's like when you're tired of something. You know, when you sitting there, you push everything off the table. Like, I'm tired of this shit. When you push everything off the table, you don't necessarily think of what you're gonna do after you pushed it off. Right. You fuck around and just pick everything up and look at me out. Exactly. You know what I mean? Yep. So I feel like him getting up and doing what he did was the smacking shit off the table. Yeah. It wasn't a thought out plan for him. He not sitting there going, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do this, and then it's gonna lead to this.
Right. And I think that's, to me, he's very in the moment, just like you said. Yeah. And I think that's one of the...
That's kind of what Chris comes in with, because Chris doesn't like, all right, so, because Steve was so in the moment, he didn't even think about, just go to Big Dick's house. Right. That didn't even cross his mind. Right. He was just like, oh, I knew where this guy was at, so I grabbed him.
Right. Right. Oh. And I think that's one of the things that's so intriguing about the show is because, honestly, you can watch this show and you can see that Steve or Chris, not only do they not really know what they're doing or how they're doing it, but they're just doing it. And it's so random that the viewer is watching this and they're as up to speed as Steve and Chris are.
Yeah. You know there's a part that you said something that was funny in it that makes me think about that? And it's so much happened, I don't even think people hear it. I heard it, and I didn't even know you said it until I watched it for like the third time. When, for those who haven't watched, I don't want to spoil anything, but when the judge does what he do, right, and then we see the drone, right, and then we turn around, they're like, put the guns down. We're like, we cursing them out, we cursing back and forth. And then I go, okay, I'm putting the gun down. In there, very faintly, you turn to me and go, what the fuck are you doing? Right. Like, it's so, Steve is like, in the moment and gets what's happening. He can like think on the fly really fast. Right. He's like, okay, 100 guns in my face. I might kill one person, but they're gonna murder us right now. We're gonna die. Right. So I gotta think my way out of this. Like, all right, put the gun down. I'll figure out the next step as I go.
And the reason
Chris is like, the fuck, I thought we was ready to go.
It's
like,
the Alamo.
So it's hilarious that the one that joined in the heat of the moment was ready to go. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you want to blast your way out. Right. And I'm like, no, wait. Like, let's think our way out, because I don't know what to do right now. Right. So I'd rather get caught, think about what to do, and maybe end up killed anyway, than just get killed.
Just buying time.
Basically, as Steve is buying time. I mean, if Steve is buying time, Chris was like, this is the time. Yeah. Like, this is what we came here for.
Let's get it done. Yeah, and I think that again, going back to that, Okay. Well,
people might view it like
this is we roll.
Steve is the more dangerous character, but Chris, and I say name like Chris is more dangerous than Steve in the aspect of how something can play out.
Yeah. Because Chris is along for the ride, and he is backing his friend's play so hard that it's like, oh, okay, Bonnie and Clyde, let's go.
And I was telling somebody that I haven't shown this in the show yet, but I wanted to put on the fact that Chris is more aware of tactical stuff, like how to handle guns and weapons, than Steve is.
Yes.
It just didn't play out yet because Chris doesn't know the plan. Chris just like, all right, I'm following you. Whatever you do, I'm going to follow.
Right.
I'm with you. So let me get this gun. Let me just go. Boom, boom, boom. But later on, I want to express the fact of like Steve may be doing something. Chris was like, no, this is how you do it.
Right.
And it kind of slowly start putting in why he knows this. And not necessarily that he's like, was anything special, and that he just knows. You know, he can be like a guy likes to hunt. You know, he can just watch. You can even throw something that's real simple like, man, you don't watch cop shows? You don't watch? No, I mean, they show you all that shit.
Exactly. You don't watch the Outdoor Channel? What are you doing, man?
Yeah, something like that. But I mean, you can just go, been hunting?
Yeah.
It's simple as hunting. No, and then, might even throw in there, like, we should go hunting. And it kind of gives Steve the idea of how it is to pursue something.
Right.
Things like that. Yeah. But I don't know, it's funny. So let me ask you this last question. We'll go into like wrapping it up and whatnot. Did you see the outcome being what it is right now? Like, did you see, I know we had a plan, like the idea to,
right.
Well, for those that don't know, let me say this and then lead into that question. Originally, Annihilation of Man was just supposed to just be a pilot. It was supposed to just be like a small little pilot, and that was gonna be the end of it. The idea originally for AM was make it a pilot, make it a really dope pilot, like everything we shot, but squeezed into one maybe hour episode, 45-minute episode, and put it out on YouTube or something. Only reason I wanted to put it out on YouTube was like, let's say somebody tells me like, yo, this is a guy in LA want to see your work. I'm like, oh, well, I can't go there, but this is an idea. Here it is. If you like that, fly me out, or I'll fly out, whatever. And then as we're shooting, is becoming this thing that I'm like, okay, cool. We can do this episode 2. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's do episode 3. And then we were like, yeah, let's do 9.
Yeah.
No, let's do 10. Then it became 9, then it became 7, and we had to settle for 6.
Right.
So I didn't see that happening when we started. But did you see the rest of it? Like, when we was like, all right, let's make it 6 episodes, 7 episodes, and let's try to get them on these platforms and see what happens. Did you see it? I personally didn't see it landing on Tubi. Not that it wasn't good enough to land on Tubi. I knew it could. Mm-hmm. I didn't see that. And I don't know how people do that. I don't know how people get things on Tubi.
Right.
I don't know how they were getting things over there. So when we was reaching those lanes, those avenues, like from thank you to Tubi, Amazon that's coming out, Reveal, TTFK Media, everybody that's picked it up and is picking it up. Yeah. Peacock needs to hurry up. But everybody that's picking it up and has picked it up, and the feedback from people. Did you see from the platforms it's landed on, the feedback it's getting, the responses? Like, I haven't had nobody tell me, it was cool, man, y'all should have, or you should have did this. I haven't had nobody give me, not saying that nobody will, but I haven't had nobody give me something negative that I'm like I almost want to tell them, fuck you then. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, we should have done that. Did you see where we at with it? Did you see it playing out like that?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
I didn't. But tell me why you saw it.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Because, okay, so let's go back to the...
and don't get me wrong. I knew we was on to something fire.
Right.
I didn't think it was going to ignite as fast.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And let me say this. I want to go back just real quick and say that I truly feel like that us working together as producers, that's part of why we're good together. Is because you got one that says, I would really like to have this happen. I'd really like to be able to do this. And then you got the other guy that's like, so why what do you mean you would like to have that happen? Why don't we just make that happen? Why don't we just do that? There's no reason why we can't. All right, so I feel like that's one reason why we're really good together. The next thing that I want to say is that when we've both been actors for a while. We both had parts in big, everything from huge big pieces down to little student films to skits to whatever it is, right? One of the things that
Did you start with background or you jumped straight into acting? Not to sidetrack the conversation. I was curious. I started with, I was an actor, but my first thing was background.
Yeah, I guess, my very first thing was background.
Yeah, which I think every actor should do just to understand it and then go into.
I don't care who you are.
Yeah, you should have done at least once or twice in your life. Yeah.
You need to do that and just keep. Okay, so I'm gonna be this guy, but I got to come back to this.
No, yeah, definitely.
You need to do it and keep your mouth shut and learn.
Yes.
Watch.
That's what a lot of people don't know how
Watch.
to do.
Just go in there and shut up and do what you're. Just be where you're supposed to be.
And stop bragging how much you do background. Man, I've done 50 background things.
Dude, like, just go and learn.
And not shitting on the background actors because there are people that's what they want to do.
And that's great.
That's cool. I'm just saying, like,
what would film?
But don't brag about nothing you do.
What would film and TV be without background?
No, yeah, 100%. I always say if I got to the level I wanted, background's gonna love me so much. I'm gonna give them their props and respect. I gotta say this, not to teach. I gotta say it. I fucking hate how they're treated.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hate it. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some that need that because they'll over exaggerate their leeway. Like they want to talk to the actors, go there and be hanging out with them and irritate them. Then the actor's gonna take that out on the director and the producers. And I respect that. You gotta create boundaries. 110%.
Yep.
But some of them get treated like they're dogs in the cage.
Yes.
Like watch everybody else eat.
Or worse.
Yeah. I've seen them get screamed at. I've seen them throw no sets. Yeah. I get the tactic of we gotta keep this crowd because sometimes it could be 100 people you backgrounding. You know, it could be. I get the tension of we gotta keep this crowd in control.
Yep.
But I've seen sets with the backgrounds like 4 or 5 people.
Yep.
And still get treated like shit.
Yep.
And they're great.
You mean to? All right. So I'm gonna back up and tell you my reason as to why. Because whoever is in charge of handling those people or making sure that they're squared away is not a good leader.
No, a lot of times they're not. They're and props to the ones that are. I don't want anybody to take like we shit.
So if somebody is having that much trouble,
you gotta get somebody else in control. Yep.
You're not a good.
A lot of times it's not even the director spazzing on them.
Right.
The director's just mad at the situation.
Yeah.
And background might just catch it, but
sure.
Yeah.
But it could be anybody. It could be anybody. It could be lighting, or it could be the focus puller. It could be scripty. It could be whoever it is. But so now let me back up and say this. When you asked me if I envisioned it going where it's going, then yes. One of the reasons is being a part of all these other projects, and we've done this before, is I don't know how many pilots that you've done. I've done a boatload of pilots and things that never made it off the shelf. Yeah. Never maybe even made it to the editing room.
Right, I've done things I didn't even saw the footage.
And that is maddening to me. And to be honest with you, at my age and the point that I am in my career, I've been entertaining since I was 16 years old. There's a point to where I'm like, you know what? Enough. I'm not going to wait on you. We'll create it.
Yeah.
We'll create it. We obviously have the ability.
Yeah.
We obviously have the skills. We obviously have the stuff that we need to do it. So why am I going to wait for somebody else to help my dream come true? I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah,
not doing it.
Not needed. I mean,
I'm just not.
Kids following their dream.
Yeah. I'm just not doing it anymore. So when you say, did you see it going forward? Yeah, I saw it going forward because I knew when it was yours and mine, when we were the two, I'm like, okay, we're good. Because I know that we can lead this small little group, this army, if you will, and we can be successful. We can wrangle this group of people, and we can make this something to watch. And it obviously is something to watch because it's been out, I don't know how long now, but
2 months, right?
Maybe 2 months. I don't even think 2 months. And look what it's doing. And look what it's doing.
No, people like the feedback is crazy. Like I always knew it was I wouldn't want to even start the project if I didn't think it was like shit, so to say.
Right.
But when I ask that question, it's like, not, like when people give me feedback, I'm not like blown away. I'm not like, really, you liked it? Like, no, not like that. Right. I'm like, of course you liked it. Like, I watch movies. I know what I like to watch.
Yep.
I know I can't make a John Wick movie right now. I don't have that kind of a budget. But I know how to look at that and go, well, in the world, in the space that I'm in, and the budget I have, I know how to create something that's watchable.
And see, now let me say this. It's not that you can't make that movie. It's that you don't have the resources.
Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah, exactly. It's just the resources, yeah.
And that is what I'm talking about. That's what I drive.
We had John Wick resources.
That's what I'm
talking about. This would have been a whole, I mean, it'd still be the same show, but...
Right.
You'll be seeing some shit.
But I gotta be honest. Going back to that one shot where the camera's sitting...
Episode 2, yeah.
I feel like that's part of what makes the show so good, is that the viewer, 9 times out of 10 when people are watching it, because I ask, they don't realize that they're watching a show. You don't watch it like you're watching a show.
Mm-hmm. No,
you're not aware that you're watching a show. And I love the fact that it cuts and blends and goes back and forth to social media and all that. Dude, yes, it is so awesome, because one of the things that I love, and I'm so thankful to whoever it was that gave it this review, was I couldn't turn it off because I was scared. No, that wasn't it. I couldn't get up to go to the bathroom because I was scared I was going to miss what was coming, and because it was happening so fast.
Yeah.
And I love that. And
I love that people tell me that they watch it twice to read the comments.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll pause it.
Yes.
They'll be like, man, a 20-minute episode turns like 2 hours for me because I was pausing it and reading the comments and laughing about it.
Yeah.
Because some of the comments are commenting what's happening.
Yes.
And some of them are like what people on social media do for real.
Exactly.
It'd be like a bot. Yep. Or it'd be somebody saying, oh, check out my sex channel. Come fuck me in the ass. That's what people respond.
Yeah.
So you know what's funny, man? Like, speaking on that, when we were creating that probably was not the only, but one of the hardest parts for me to do. You'd be surprised. You would think you could just come up with things on the fly and be like, oh, just say anything.
Right.
You know what the hardest part for me to come up with, for some weird reason? Fucking names. You know what I mean? It was like Joe Blow 69. I was saying like really oblivious with names, like what to call it. Yeah. So I started going to my social media and going to people that I know personally and like reversing their names.
Yep.
I wanted to call, but I didn't have time. I could have made time, but when I was editing, I was just like, oh my God, I gotta get this done. What I wanted to do was call people that I personally knew and involve their name in it. Like, put their real Instagram name.
Their real screen.
So if somebody was bored enough to go investigate, be like, this is a real person, and they find that person's name. Right. Or you could just screenshot it and put it on your page. Like,
that may be something that we can incorporate.
It needs to do that
in the season 2 is, I don't know, get somebody to review the show or whatever, and for a chance to be
be featured on it.
To be featured,
What before we wrap it up, man, what else you got going on? Like, I know we want to talk about season 2 and the whole 9 yards. Yeah. What else do you have going on?
I got a lot of stuff, but I want to ask you something real quick. I want to do this because this is a question that I get asked on a everyday basis.
Okay.
What was your favorite scene in the series? Without giving it away to somebody who may not have seen it. Don't spoil it. But what was your favorite? Not to shoot, but like.
Okay, as a viewer.
Yes.
My favorite scene on it. Man, that's so hard for me. I want to say it's the first scene. My favorite scene to continuously watch. Like, if I was to tell you, you ain't gonna watch nothing else, I'm gonna watch this scene. Is the torture scene.
That's my favorite too.
I love that scene. There's a lot of scenes I like. I like the judge scenes. I like the us sneaking in the house. I like everything. But the torture scene I like a lot. One, because we accomplished the vision. It's probably one of the main scenes that look how I saw it in my head. You almost never get things to look exactly how you see it in your head. You get the closest thing. That one. For the budget we had and the resources, that one came out the closest to like, this is how I saw it. I didn't want that much light. I wanted it almost to be hard to see, but we accomplished it in a way like with minimal light. You can see it's perfect. You're not like, what's happening in the scene? And then I was scared the fight. The fight between me and Ford. And things like that. And I remember we was almost scrapping that part. And I was like, no, goddammit, we gotta get the fight. Like, I did. But even though I didn't have no fight choreographed. But I was like, I don't want no kung fu fight, like he punching, I dodge it. I just want to scuffle. Like he just grabbed me, I knock him down, you screaming like, oh, what the fuck? So like all that to me went great because it was these minute pieces that were so hard that in my head I was like, shit, this is not gonna come out good. Like even from the guy giving me the keys after he punched me and everything, when we was doing it, I was like, man, I just don't see how I'm gonna put it. I didn't say that while we was shooting. Usually when I'm shooting, I can see how I'm going to edit it. That scene, I had no control in my mind. Like I knew what I wanted to do. I was just like, damn, the lighting is we got light over there, then this light's over here.
Right.
It's dark here.
Yeah.
I just felt like it was gonna be a mess.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be one of the craziest looking episodes. Then it ended up being like my favorite one.
Yeah.
Like quality wise, the way it looked. And I always tell Koya, I was so jealous of Joey's scene in episode 5. She's like, wow, like I gave him the best shots. Like you know the way it looks like when you hanging
right.
and you see like behind like Ford's face and you just did. I was like, man, he got like these shots that I'm like, man, like that motherfucker owe me some money, man. That's a shot, man. Like that's like when I view it, I'm like, damn, like that shot almost looked like it looks so good, like it wasn't even belong here. Like it looked like we shot that shit with a crazy camera.
I think that's one of the things that makes the whole show so cool is the fact that it goes from what seemingly telephone footage, where you shot with a cell phone and it's going crazy and all that, to very cinematic looking shots.
Yeah,
like that
one especially.
Like that pan over, man. I think that kind of stuff is one of the things that really.
I call it the jealous shot. Every time I see that shot, I'm like, I hate this fucking guy.
Well, let me just say it like this: it's not necessarily the shot as much as it is the subject.
No, it looks great.
The subject is beautiful.
You were sexy in that scene, man. You were sexy as hell. Like, I'm surprised I pressed record.
So, but that is absolutely my favorite scene, and the reason why it's my favorite is because it goes from it's got everything in it. It's got a little bit of gore in it. It's got the blood. It's got a little bit of violence in it. It's got action in it. It's got storyline. It's moving the story forward. It's got stupid comedy. These guys are dying. These guys are without a doubt dying. There's no question. And they still find themselves in that same minion capacity in their brain to be
like, don't say, because they never spoke about, yo, we get caught, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
They both just went into, their tactic was play as stupid as we can.
Well, I don't even think they're playing a tactic.
No, you know what I mean? Like, from a viewer's point of view.
I can tell you now that I don't believe that Chris is playing a tactic. I think it's truly
Captain Morgan.
Captain Morgan.
I'm calling him Captain Morgan for real.
Detective
Morgan. He said that he goes, either you guys been trained or you're stupid as hell.
Yeah.
He said that. Yes. Like, you guys are crazy as hell.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we threw that line in there because it's like, which one is it?
Yes.
Are these guys we never exposed? Are these guys trained or are they just stupid as hell? Like, are they crazy?
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but go ahead.
But the fact that like they're literally actively being tortured, electrocuted, all these things going on. But yet one of them is like, dude, I'm sorry, I'm not. And he's apologizing to the guy.
Oh, yeah,
he's like, man, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to take your thunder, man. I'm sorry. But he just said this, and then this happened. I'm like, how did you just say that? I think that
shit's funny, man.
Because those two characters, even though they're tied down, they're obviously captured. They took their torturer and their captor. They pulled him out of the scene that he's created.
Yeah. He got involved.
Yes, even he got involved. Yes.
That Ford, the actor in that scene, says when he backed off, and I'm glad I stopped the music because everything stops, and he goes, "Nah, those are fucking watermelons."
Yeah.
I mean, those fucking strawberries. Like he was like, I loved him. Yo,
oh man,
that's my favorite clip of him when he started to go. And he backed up in his neck. Everything was perfect. He was like, "Those are fucking strawberries." And he looked back at the guard behind him like.
There was a whole thread on my Instagram, and it was nothing but people talking about. I thought it was watermelon too. Nah, man, were you racist?
Yeah,
it's obviously a strawberry.
It's funny because it is watermelon.
I was like,
the funny part.
There's like 30 comments, and they're just arguing back and forth about this guy's.
That's hilarious because when I for content wise, for people to know context wise, like I bought those underwear, like those are real underwear. Those wasn't bought for the show. Like I owned those and knew I owned it and wrote it into the script. Like those, you know what I mean? Like I wrote those for real into the script. Like it wasn't like that was in the script and we went and found underwear. So
you tell me you wear watermelon underwear on a regular.
No, but this is the funny part.
You wear them today?
No, that's funny. I'm asking. I remember holding them in my hand. I should have worn them. It should have been funny. But this is the funny part about that scene. It's real. When I bought them, I thought they were strawberries. I really did. And then I think it was Koya or something. No, I was on a set. I was doing something on the set, and I bent down to help somebody with something. And this girl was like, yeah, you would fucking have watermelon underwears. You crazy ass. And I was like, these are strawberries. You know, and she's like,
right.
fucking watermelons, dude. Like, what strawberries? The strawberry pits are green. And I was like,
oh, man.
huh, they are watermelon, ain't they? So that real life scenario,
right.
I took it into the screen, like, into the set. Like, you know what? Nobody could be like, oh, they played that out. No, that really happened. Like, I really bought them oh, these strawberries.
Right.
You know? And when she said, strawberry pits are green, I was like, it's true. So in that scene, it's like, it's personal and funny to me because that had really happened. Like, I didn't have an argument that intense, but I really had an argument with somebody like, nah, bitch, these are strawberries, you know?
That's something else that I love about these characters.
I wish we would have added that when after we knocked them out and we was leaving. You said, like, dude, that was great what you said, man. Because those are watermelons. I'm like, what? It just goes to something. We shouldn't have said that right there. Like,
right, so you gotta bring back the watermelon underwear for season 2. Gotta bring it back
we got
at some point.
Like, I gotta like bend down and do something like, dude, did you wear those again?
You still wearing that?
Like, hey, you saved our life.
I got the blood out. I got the blood stains out.
Blood stains out. You should buy a pen. This saved us.
You get crap stains out too?
Like, imagine if I didn't have these on. How much time these bought us.
Right.
These are tactical.
I love the.
Oh no, you gotta buy a pair.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What the fuck are you doing? Are those mine? Be like, yeah. Like, no, I should be like, did you buy a pair? Like, no, I took the shit stains out. I used yours. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? Like that, we got to put that in there.
Chris got to be wearing some corn underwear. Or something. It's stupid. But I was yes. I was gonna say that's what I think is that's one of the things that's really funny about Steve and Chris is the fact that both of them jumped on the same bandwagon,
knowing they were wrong.
Both of them knowing that they were wrong and still took that other dude out of his element so far.
When this dude said, "I got 3 black friends," and he was like, 3?
You got 3?
And it was funny. I asked a friend of mine this, and I was like, "Damn, I didn't think about it when I was writing it." He was like, "What?" I was like, "He's white." So I was like, "How many black friends are you supposed to have?"
Right.
You know, when it was like, because in the script that was in there, even though I wrote how many I was supposed to have.
Right.
I didn't think about it though.
Right.
As a question. Cause I'm like, I got 3 black friends. When Ford says, "I got 3 black friends," and he goes, "Yeah," it was the way he asked it. Yeah, like, the fuck, how many am I supposed to have? And I stood there and was like,
how many do I have to be bona fide?
Yeah. Like, how many am I supposed to have for you to not be like, "Oh man, you only got 3"? Because I was like, I'm not saying there is a quota, but when you sit back, if I went to your house, let's say if I go to a white guy's house, and you invite me and 2 other people in, I'm sitting there, all right, that's like 8 people in here, and 3 are black. Right. You know, Hispanic, black guy, Jamaican guy, white guy.
Looks like the United Nations.
I'd be satisfied with the, okay, we good.
To blend.
It could be 20 people in there, and 3 black people. You know, I could sit here. I'm good with this environment.
Right.
So when he said it, I was like, he didn't say he only knows 3 black people. He said, I have 3 black friends. Like these, I might know a whole bunch, but these are my dudes.
Right.
Like I know these guys.
I think that the way he said it was more like
he really was questioning us.
I purposely have them just for you. That was the way that I liked it.
I got 3 black friends.
Like, no, I got 3.
How many am I supposed to have? And then we still attacked him. Like 3. I was like, you racist as hell.
Like, racist thing.
And I was like, when I was watching that, I was like, and I asked my friend, I was like, hey man, you being white, like, what do you feel is a quota? Right. He was like, I thought 3 was a lot. And I was like, a lot? He's like, not a lot, like that's enough, but like I thought 3 was a nice number.
For that guy.
He has 3 black friends.
For that guy.
People, and the guy that you accusing of being racist said, I got 3.
Right.
And, you know, and then he was like, not only that, he was there to kill you because you just killed the black guy.
I think
I was like,
if we're gonna dive into what makes it racist, I think the fact
he didn't kill the black guy. The black guy killed himself. But he was there on the idea that the judge just killed himself.
I think the fact that he was able to say right off the bat exactly how he knew he already had them in a separate file.
I think that's what caught us off guard.
That was what.
And the follow-up line, like he was like, "How many white friends you got?" He's like, "I don't know. I don't keep counting." He's like, "Man, you racist as hell, man. Like how you don't know?" I think that's what it was. Now I think about it. That the way he played it afterwards, like how many? And he was like, "Shit, I don't know. I don't keep track of it." We're like, wow, like so you know these 3 guys coming in and out your house, but the other guys, it could be 100. You don't know.
There was no matter what he was gonna say, we were gonna flip the script on him every way.
He was gonna get eaten alive on that scene. And it was funny. He played it out good. Like I thought in the beginning, I was like, man, maybe I don't know. Maybe we need a guy that's more animated. Because when I knew him in person,
Right.
you know, you talk to people, they're not in character.
Right.
So when I met him, you know, sometimes, and I surprise people with this. A lot of people, when they meet me, like if I'm meeting you on a professional level, let's say you're a director or something, I'm just talking to you as an actor, like, yeah, you know how you doing, da, da, da. You don't know, like, all right, man, can this guy go from one extreme to the other?
Right.
That I think that's where I shine a lot on camera. I'll be like, hey.
Right.
And when there's a scene where I gotta get like, I gotta get really intense, that's my forte. Like anywhere I can get fucking crazy,
And it's easy.
you're gonna be like, whoa, I believe him.
And I think that's one thing that a lot of people struggle with is I feel like they have a hard time stepping out of themselves and into that character and taking him up there.
Yeah.
You know, regardless of what that character is.
Exactly, yeah.
And to me, that's one of the things when people have asked me, they're like, what's the hardest thing for you? And what's the easiest thing? That's like the easiest thing.
That is the easiest. The hardest for me is to talk to you seriously, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Like, not seriously, but like, let's say, like, you give me like a lawyer. You know what I mean? Like, you know, sometimes when I watch movies, like a lawyer to me sounds a certain way.
Right.
Or a doctor. That's the reason why I personally hate getting those roles. I keep getting them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I play them good, but that's when I gotta go. All right, I gotta.
That's
be
where
ready.
you,
I
that's
gotta
when you
study
have to really
this.
try.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I gotta like study it.
Yeah.
I can't be like
Yep.
doing all this with my hands. I gotta like really be a character. Like I gotta like firm him out and be like, this is how they act, so to say.
Yeah.
But when it comes to being like, you know, I'm laughing with you, and this might do something, and I instantly go from laughing to like I'm like out of control and ready.
Right.
That's like
easy. That's easy to me.
that's another Tuesday for me. I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I'm mad for real right now. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and I sell it so well on camera to me. And it's like I can make you believe that I'm crazy more than I can make you believe that I'm a nice guy.
It's funny that you said that because you had asked me this a while ago about other projects and stuff. So I'll get to that real quick. I just finished a movie out in we shot in Texas where I play a human trafficker. Like my guy buys and sells.
So you play you in real life.
Come on. But the girl that was playing the lead, she's a great actress. But like the first day, when I got to set, I went early a day and got there and met everybody and all that stuff. And I remember I specifically told her, I said, now I'm not a method actor, but tomorrow I'm not going to be nice.
Right. I'm in the zone.
Because this guy is a dirty piece of trash that is not even worthy to be scraped off the bottom of your boot, right? And I remember like we had done the first scene, and after the first take, she literally went to the AD and said, "I'm scared of him."
What?
She literally went to the AD and she said, "I don't want to be alone with him." And the AD was like, "Why?
What he do?
Did he say something? Did he say something? You know, what? Who? What do we got to do?" And she's like, "No. She's like, "I'm legitimately scared of him." So as we progress through the scenes, and my guy, he gets worse and worse is what he does.
Okay.
And but like, there's one particular scene where she's crying, and that was legitimate. Like she was legitimately, like she was not acting. She was shaking.
Yeah.
Because she literally, and I feel like that as an actor, when I have another actor give me something like that, because I've had other actors do things that scare me or whatever it is, or strike me funny with a line that I wasn't expecting. That is so organic. When I see it on screen, I'm like, you let me deliver the punchline. You set me up
100%.
to look that good. And I'm so grateful to other actors when they do that. And I think that's one of the things that we do well about each other. Like we was talking earlier. But just real quick, I want to say that the fact that we had such phenomenal actors that came in to Annihilation of Man.
Oh yeah.
Man, dude, David Tiefin, the guy that plays the priest.
We didn't talk enough about him yet.
Dude. He
Have you seen it? Did you tell me he saw it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he saw it?
I don't even know if he's seen the whole thing.
Yeah.
But
he should, but he's in the whole show. I don't know if that situation happened, but he's in the whole show, yeah.
Another one that we gotta say that
I definitely gotta interview him, man. He was funny.
That done a really good job. Cricket, everybody calls her
Cricket, Victoria, yeah.
Victoria. She done a great job. The
She was awesome.
goth girl.
Yeah.
Brian Brian Alexander done so much on these episodes that
He's
you don't even know, and I think that that's fantastic. But
yeah, nobody puts two into the gut. That's the same guy 3 times.
I love it,
He was
man.
in the. Well, I won't spoil it. I won't say what he.
No, don't say it all. Don't say it all.
He was in 4 episodes.
Yeah, Ford done a great job.
Yeah, I love him. Yeah.
Ford Smith, Cecil Henry, the guy plays the judge.
I'm still mad.
We're
gonna have to do a flashback scene or something just to get him back.
Doing he great? Doing he great?
It was like after I watched it and was like, I don't want to spoil it for people, but after what happened,
yes,
I was like, we should have done that. we should have did that to somebody else. But see, that's what made him like so great.
It is, but that's one of the great things about this show is this show can it can be all over the place like a bowl of spaghetti, and it's okay.
We need to give him a twin brother or something.
Yeah. Sean Sims, who plays Rebecca Hart. Man, that just
she called me and told
fantastic.
me, she was like, that was my first time playing a villain, and it was when she told me that she just finished telling her agent or her acting coach, one of the two, that she's tired of him finding her these nice motherly roles. Can you please find me something crazy? I want to play a bitch.
Yeah.
And that she got the audition for Annihilation of Man like 2 days later after she said that.
Yeah.
So that's what she wanted it.
Cool.
So she was like, I know you guys had like a small budget, it was an indie film, but I auditioned for that harder than I did anything I ever auditioned for. And I was like, wow, I appreciate that. She was like, man, shit, who gave the final say so on me? I was like, everybody liked you, but it was my final say so. And she was like, thank you. Like, she was like, that is my favorite thing I've ever played. She was like, I'm looking forward to season 2 so bad.
That's awesome.
And I was like, nah,
she done a great job.
She killed it.
And I want to say this too. That's another thing that I love about the fact that we didn't just make a pilot. We made a show that's on multiple platforms, and we were able to say, you know what, this guy's a good actor. Let's bring him. Let's do what we can.
We wasn't looking for the typical looking person to play the role. We wanted to find somebody that in real life looked believable.
Yes, and we done that with everybody.
Oh yeah.
Every single one of these actors were actors that either we knew or somebody that was associated with us was like, this guy right here needs a he needs a little charge. He needs a little shot. She needs a little poke. You know what I mean? And I love the fact that we were able to do that. That to me honestly means more than me being a lead character. Was to be able to help somebody else, because I know what that's like. It hurts. It literally hurts when you're trying so hard and nobody will give you that little
that spotlight.
You know,
let me see what you can do.
Let me give you a chance.
And don't assume I'm not great. Just let me prove to you that I am or I'm not.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me show you that
good, bad,
I'm not what you're looking for.
Good, bad, or indifferent. Just give me the shot.
Do something and you go, you know what? You know what I'm looking for. But I'm happy that you was like, yo, stand on that stage and show me.
Yeah.
That's, I think everybody just need that chance. Stand on that stage and show me.
Everybody.
Not just look at me and go, and keep moving. Like, People just.
I've never been able to handle the big me, little you thing.
No, never.
I've never been able to do that, man.
Never. I can never see that happening with one of us doing that. But yeah, man. But I'm glad you came by. I'm super glad you came by, man. Last thing I can say is that the soundtrack is out, which I'm still mad you didn't want to sing no country songs on it.
It's season 2.
I'm gonna get you a season 2.
It's season 2.
I'm gonna write you a rap version.
Why's it gotta be a country song, man? Why's it gotta, man?
But no, that's out.
Not there's anything wrong with country music.
No, nothing at all. No, but that's out. Also, the soundtrack's out. We have those journals out.
Yeah.
I wish I had one. I'm surprised I didn't break one down.
Yeah.
That was stupid of us. But what do you call it? Yeah. Anything else before we go? Aside from watch the show before we show up at your house.
Make sure. Here's the thing. Yes. Yeah. Let me say this. First off, thank you to everybody that's watched it.
Oh yeah.
That's huge, man.
Everybody watched it, shared it, talked about it.
Yes. If you've taken that part of your life and watched it and you've seen the show, man, that means more than anybody will ever know. When I wake up in the morning and I look at my phone or whatever I'm doing and I get these messages, and I'm sure you do too, as most people do. Man, I watched you do this last night, or I saw you on this, or I did this, or whatever. That's the best feeling in the world, that somebody thought enough of you to spend a part of their life watching something that you created.
Yeah, because I can tell you like 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Yeah, you're not going to give an artist a better compliment than to give them your time. It's just not going to happen. You know, I mean, you can buy merchandise, you can buy tickets to go to a show or go to a movie or whatever it is, but the best way that you can compliment them is by giving them
like after you saw it, or after you saw the show, after you bought their product, to be like you like it so much that you're hitting them up like, yo,
yes.
What you did here
and then the next thing is please, because this is a grassroots show, man. Mm-hmm. It is a grassroots show that reveal Tubi, Amazon, TTYK, is that what it is?
TTFK. TTFK Media.
TTFK Media. That they have said, you know what? We believe in this show enough. We're going to take it and show it to our fans. Mm-hmm. We're going to recommend the show to our viewers that we have built. Mm-hmm. That's massive, man. Mm-hmm. And for people to be sharing our show and our clips and all of these things on their social media and all that stuff. Man.
I love a favorite. When I went into that, I'm like, especially when I don't know the person too well. Like, I just know them on social media. Like, I just know them. I don't know you in person.
Yeah.
It's great when I know the person as well.
Right.
But I know me knowing you had a little bit of motivation into you going to give a chance.
Yeah.
When you don't owe me nothing, you don't even owe me your friendship, you don't owe me nothing. You can go in there and rip me apart if you want to.
Yep.
You're like, hey man, this is dope.
Yep.
Somebody watch this.
Yeah.
That is like, whoa, yeah.
Yeah, you're not gonna compliment somebody more. It's awesome. So 100%. I'll say thank you. Not only to everybody that was a part of the show. Thank you for letting me be a part of the show. Thank you for letting me toss lines back and forth and write some of it and co-direct some of it. It was a blast, man. And where we're gonna take this,
it's gonna be great.
Man.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. But no, I gotta say that one more time. Thank you so much to the fans that tune in and watch and share it. Mm-hmm. Share it, comment on it, hashtag it, all that stuff, man.
100%. Without that, we couldn't have done it, man. It's great.
Oh, and real quick, thank you to all the media. Thank you to the other podcasts that we entertained this podcast. BFAM, David Clark on 109.6.
Even platforms that's not media, like I'm sorry, I forget their names. The only one I can remember because they shared it yesterday. Like Latino filmmakers, they have like 500,000 followers.
Yes.
You know, I don't know how they see me sometimes.
Yeah.
Because they always promote like big Latino actors and this.
Right.
Yeah, granted, they only focus. Right. They focus on everything, but they focus mostly on the Latino community. And being Latino for a platform that huge to pick up and go, hey, this is cool. Post this. Like it blew me away that they posted it.
And so I'll say that. You're through it. I'll say this as well. Thank you to Cherokee Nation Media. Mm-hmm. They've shared it on all the Native American and Indigenous people's websites, man.
I think you tagged me on that.
Yeah.
Was that Facebook?
I think it was Instagram. I think it might have been Facebook. I can't remember.
I was seeing that and going like, oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Thank you to Bold Journey Magazine.
Bold Journey, they looked at a lot. Yeah.
Thank you to Spotlight Magazine, who is coming up, and thank you to Ego Magazine, who is coming up for me. So,
Is that the one from Vegas? Is Ego from Vegas?
Ego is from Atlanta. And
is Bold Vegas? Who's Vegas?
Bold may be Vegas. I can't remember.
One of those magazines is Vegas. Oh man,
I can't remember.
But yeah, definitely shout out to any platform and person have been showing love. It's ridiculous, and we've got more to come. We haven't even like really rolled out the advertisement that big yet. We've been pushing, but it hasn't got the rollout. You know what I mean? It's almost like all we're really touching right now is like our platform, like the people we know and the people that follow us. And I feel like now it's to the point where it's like, okay, thank you to everybody that follows us, everybody that knows us, everybody that rock with us. Now it's everybody that we don't know. Like we got to help us push it to that level like that. But again, man, I'm so happy you was here. I'm sure we're gonna have you here again. I'm happy to start season 2 of Real Live and Living, episode 1 with you, because everybody sees us so much together already. They're like, oh shit, they're on the other podcast as well. So I'm glad to start that. I'm sure you'll come back before I end season 2. Anything else?
This is what I think. I think that one of the things that we've got to do is, as we're bringing, I don't even know if We Alive and Living is going to bring in the other actors and stuff from the show.
And shout out to Josh. I think his name is Josh Scaffron. I apologize, Josh, if I'm saying your last name wrong. But I definitely gotta get him. Every time he's in Atlanta, he hits me up and goes,
that's Rebecca Hart's
sideman,
lieutenant or whatever, right? Yeah.
Every time he's in town, the first thing he does is, I'm shooting him, man. You can fit me in.
Nice.
And it's either like I'm like not ready or just being bold, honest. Like I don't feel like setting up. I'm like, oh man, he's here today. Shit, something happened. I gotta make sure I get him here. He hits me up every single time he comes.
That's awesome.
I'm like, Damn, but I definitely want to interview. I really want to do like a round table with everybody.
We gotta do that.
I personally
we gotta do that. Yeah.
But yeah, 100%. I don't know what else to say, but aside from thank you for being here.
You're awesome, man. Thank you, brother.
Fuck you, Chris.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, what?